What is going on, guys? This is not my 2K channel. That is not my intro for this channel, but I'm not redoing it. So, lads, today we are going to be talking about the Indiana Fever against the Chicago Sky, and we're going to be talking about how the Sky showed the blueprint for how not to play the Fever. They showed the blueprint for how to lose to the Fever. And Tyler Marsh is a very much young coach. And I still think the Chicago Sky are going to be good. They were shell-shocked. Like, I've never seen a team just look shell-shocked before. And I think there was a lot of new players for the Sky. There were some players on this team like Kia Nurse who are not used to crowds. Ariel Atkins is not used to crowds. Actually, no, she won a championship. That's a crazy thing to say. But like there were players on that team that just did not look comfortable from the start of that game. And they showed the blueprint on how not to play against the Fever. Because every single team that has done this has done this tactic of guarding Caitlin Clark has lost. And I said it on stream. So I was like, who's going to guard Caitlin Clark? Who's going to guard Caitlin Clark? And you have to fully commit to two things. To one or two things. If you're going to do it, you have to fully commit. And they didn't even fully commit to it. They sacrificed Ariel Atkins. So Ariel Atkins obviously didn't play that many minutes in the end. But in the first half, Ariel Atkins, I think she shot 2 shots. Ariel Atkins shot the ball twice in the first half. And yeah, she was -9. But Ariel Atkins did a really good job on Caitlin Clark in the half. She did a real good job. And she was the only person that kind of did and was able to even contain Caitlin Clark in an isolation situation. Like nobody else could even guard Caitlin Clark in isolation, which is scary. But that was just the reality of it, is that they couldn't, not only could they not guard her in the pick and roll, they couldn't guard her in isolation with anyone other than Ariel Atkins. The problem is that Ariel Atkins just had to forget how to play offense. And if you agree that was a crazy thing to do, subscribe. We're trying to hit 46,000 subscribers by the end of the day. But Ariel Atkins is a player that, if we want to look at Ariel Atkins' game log last year, so I'm just going to show you guys what Ariel Atkins did last year against the Indiana Fever. She was one of the toughest matchups for the Indiana Fever last year. So just look at Ariel Atkins' points per game against the Fever. So we're going to go game log, and we're going to go last year. And this is on a Mystics team, which I think is which is probably similar level to this Chicago Sky team. First game against Indiana, they lost by, where was it? Sorry, they lost by 2 here. She has 16 points. She shoots the ball 21 times. And again, look, it wasn't the... she had 29 points against the Sky. And then when they beat Indiana... when they lost Indiana the second time, she's had 27 points on 17 shots. She had 27 points against them. And then when they beat Indiana, she had 26 points. And in the last game of the season, she only played 21. She had 17 points in 21 minutes. So like her per 30 numbers against the Fever last year are probably close. Like if she plays her average minutes in this game, she probably has mid-20s again. So she's averaging 22 points per game against the Fever last year. And the Washington Mystics last year, Sykes was injured for those games. Ariel Atkins was their best defender by far. But who guarded Caitlin Clark? Julie Van Loo, Carly Samuelson. And Caitlin absolutely cooked them. But Ariel Atkins also cooked the Fever, because no one could really guard Ariel Atkins. So, there are no players in the WNBA that are good enough to simultaneously guard Caitlin Clark and cook on offense. We saw them at Mercury do it last year. Do we not remember? Ka Copper with 3 points going into the fourth quarter because she's focused only on guarding Caitlin Clark. They sacrificed Ka Copper to guard Clark. And all that ended up happening was, their offense went wrong. And then when they decided, you know what, we need Copper to score, they took her off Caitlin. And what happens then is Copper ends up being out of rhythm late in the game and expected to take it home, which is what Ariel Atkins had to do in the second half. Where Ariel Atkins, who had a 1 of 2 first half, not even looking at the basket, they weren't even giving her the ball. She then goes and has, in fairness, she had a 2 of 4 second half. She barely shot the ball, but trying to tell her to take them home, and it just did not work. And then you've got Caitlin Clark, who's able to get rhythm on Courtney Vandersloot. And in fairness, actually, they put Ariel Atkins back on Clark at some stage. But Sloot's trying to guard Caitlin. Sloot can't guard Caitlin. Caitlin took Sloot in an ISO. She took Sloot in an ISO for a step back midi. It was like she went and cooked her on the perimeter and shot a step back midi in her face. Like, it was crazy. But then suddenly on Sloot, Caitlin Clark has a rhythm. You then try to put Ariel Atkins back on her, and Caitlin Clark's gotten into a rhythm and nothing. It doesn't matter. She can run the pick and roll. The whole team are in rhythm. The game's over then. And it's like, you've got to, if you're a coach, you got to commit. You've got to commit. Like we saw it last year with the Minnesota Lynx, where they just had enough. Like Kayla McBride offensively was non-existent against the Fever because she solely focused on Caitlin Clark. Like, but the Lynx had enough. The Lynx had enough there. And then also they were able to put Xander Lassini. They were able to put Bridget Carlton on Caitlin. They were able to put Courtney Williams on her. They had so many bodies. And they were also able to kind of blitz pick and rolls. And another thing you cannot do is play the pick and roll with the flat hedge. You got to fully commit one way or the other. You don't half commit. Like, they weren't guarding anything off the pick and roll. Like, as I said in the video yesterday, with, like, I talked about, like, the coach's tactics, where it's like they went out and flat hedged, like Caitlin Clark was just a normal player, and they kind of half committed to guarding Caitlin, half committed to the role, and it doesn't matter. You either got to commit one or the other. You either got to play full drop coverage and funnel her into the paint and live with Aaliyah in hitting the jump shot off the short roll, or you have to fully blitz. And realistically, again, I said it before, is like, the Sky should have put Angel on Caitlin and had Beck Allen or Onion Ware and Elizabeth Williams on the floor as well, and just switched every screen. Because what they were doing wasn't working, and this Fever team becomes near impossible to guard. It becomes near impossible to guard, and it definitely, if you're going to sacrifice a player, you have to be the Aces. You have to be the Lynx. The Liberty don't have Phoebish, who's just gonna be an annoyance. But like, that's all the Liberty have to guard her. They might have to sacrifice Tash Cloud as well. And the Liberty can afford to sacrifice Phoebish, because Phoebish is just one of those players who I'm going to be the best describe it as, no matter who she plays with, she's going to be the best fourth option in the league. Like, it doesn't matter what team she is on, she is going to be the best fourth option. An archetype that I don't think there's a single Leonie Phoebish archetype in the entirety of the WNBA. But yeah, it was kind of a blueprint for what not to do. Like, and if I'm the Atlanta Dream, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I might zone them up. I might zone up the Fever, because ironically, game 2 is against the Dream, and we saw them throw every different look at Caitlin Clark. I don't know what to do. Like, I think I'm not sacrificing Ryan Howard. I'm not sacrificing Alicia Gray. I'm not sacrificing either of them if I'm Atlanta. I don't care if it's getting Caitlin Clark out of her rhythm. If we want to get Caitlin Clark out of her rhythm, don't sacrifice them in the pick and roll. Like, if you are the Atlanta Dream, you do not sacrifice Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard, because even if you're getting Caitlin Clark out of rhythm, she's just going to go, cool, we're going to run the pick and roll, and we're going to just abuse Brittany Griner out of the pick and roll. Whereas at least if you just put Tahina Paopao in that situation, in that coverage, Tahina Paopao is going to get cooked by Caitlin Clark. And they're going to get cooked in the pick and roll, but they're going to get cooked anyway. It's pick your poison. It's pick your poison. And what you can't do is limit your offense because you've decided, you know what, we want to stop this one player, which is what the Chicago Sky have done. That is the worst blueprint. You do not limit your offense. Unless you are an Aces, where you can use Jackie Young. Because you've got AJ Wilson, you've got Jewel Lloyd, you've got Chelsea Gray. The Liberty have defenders, because there's no team. Unfortunately, like, if you're the Mercury, you're going to have to send some sort of zone at her. The Wings, thankfully, have Dejanay Carrington, so you're not going to have to be forced to use Paige on her. But the vast majority of teams in the WNBA guarding Caitlin Clark, some of their best perimeter defenders are also some of their best perimeter offensive players. And it has been shown time and time again that unless you are the Lynx or the Aces, and you have a top tier, like, players around said player, do not send them to double team Caitlyn. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.